Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Liz Moshera here. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate the new subscribers. Karibuni sana. And them who have not subscribed, kindly consider subscribing. So I continue sharing with you my story. I had got to a point where I told you now I had made efforts of making this guy pay for me my ticket back, but he was a bit hesitant. So it got to a point that I had to involve my parents because I was feeling now I'm insecure. Because when it got physical, I started doubting on trusting him with my life and all that. And so I decided to speak out. I remember writing down some contacts of my parents and friends to a friend of mine. Mama Tamara, God bless you so much. You supported me so much at that moment. And so I told her, in case anything happens, those are the contacts that she can call or maybe reach out to and tell them what had happened. And so after kusumbuana for quite some time, because I remember even my parents now started to say that they wanted to talk to him, and so they did. After they called him, he was told, now do this, can you tell us the exact date that our daughter is traveling back? And so he was left with no option other than confirming the travel dates. All along, I don't know whether I mentioned this in the previous videos, he was managing me psychologically. By that I mean, he would come one day and tell me that, the flight that you wanted me to book for you that day is not possible because of ABCD. And it was my first time traveling outside the country, so I never understood this procedure so well. So he kind of took advantage of that for some time, because booking of my ticket bounced like 3-4 times. And I remember even going for the PCR test to Hivo out of my own, in my own ways rather, with my own money, because he had even refused to give me money for the PCR test. I also happened to share with my big brother and the wife, and they decided that they will finance, they will give that contribution and enable me to come back. So after my parents intervened, that's when now I was booked a flight, and thankfully the booking procedures were successful and I got my ticket. So then I went for the PCR again, and this time round I got negative results, thanks to God, which now I was set to travel. So the traveling date was due, and so all along I was playing cool, but at the back of my mind I knew what I wanted, because I had come to a point where I would even Google why a person would react or would behave in a certain kind of manner, and I had some few tips of surviving with this kind of guy in the same house, because I was fearing for my life anyway. So I would avoid a case whereby I would maybe react to what he does and started now responding. If I'm asked a question, it's a yes or no, and I'm done, And so that was it. And finally the day came and I traveled back. It was very good. Even in the airport, actually, he took some selfies and all that, But anyway, nilikuwa nauliza tutaachana saa ngapi. But finally, at least it was okay. The procedures were okay, and I went through, and now I did take my flight. I remember the first thing I did after getting into the plane, before now the plane took off, I remember texting a friend of mine. And I'm so sorry for the friends that I may be tortured psychologically. Haikuwa kupenda kwangu, and thanks for understanding. I remember texting her and telling her, if now I die of maybe a plane crash, I die a peaceful woman, because I hated all along, I hated getting to imagine that I would die out of domestic violence. Yani hiyo ni kitu nilikuwa nasikia hapana, and I thank God because I wasn't I wasn't a statistic. I thank God. So I took the flight. The flight was successful. And so when I landed, that's when now my big brother and sister came to pick me. And I'm glad that you sacrificed. It was very early in the morning because I arrived at 6. They were there to get me. And I so appreciated, by the way. God bless you so much. So they took me. We went to a place called Kitengera. I took our car and then now drove up to Embu and then to Kirinyaga. So on arrival, what shocked me now was that my own mom did not even greet me. You know, vile tu yani nilishuka kwa gari, alishtuka, akajishika, and she was like, hii sasa ni Dubai ya saa ngapi? Ulikuwa umeenda kufanya nini? You know, yani nilikuwa nimeisha. I wasn't even looking happy. I wasn't looking healthy. My hair was not even done. You know, you are imagining where I'm from and how I'm looking like, and there is no comparison, you know. I know that tortured my mom in one way or the other, but I thank God that we are here now and we are telling a different version now of the story. So now kufika, it was a matter of dealing with, you know, stigma, because, you know, people are expecting, I don't know, the society has so much expectations, you know, and if you don't meet them, you kind of frustrate them, in quotes, I would say. And once they get maybe frustrated, they start now, you know, kukuelekezea the kind of frustrations. And so people like were expecting me to come back pregnant, I don't know, to come back with a baby, I don't know. Yani, the expectations were just so high. And so out of this, I was forced to remain indoors for quite a number of days because I wasn't ready to speak out. I was bleeding. I mean, my heart was so heavy. I wasn't happy. Everybody who saw me was like, hey, umeamua kufanya Slim Possible. Like, gosh, who told you I'm doing Slim Possible? If only you know what I'm going through, you know. And I must admit it was tough. But with time anyway, I did cope. And not to mention, when I came, I never went to his place. I went to my mom's place. And that's where I stayed for quite a number of days. But then I wasn't to stay at home forever. So I decided after, was it a month? Yeah. I decided now, this is the time, maybe I should go and maybe revive my small business that I had left behind. And so I decided, fine. I don't know whether it was frustrations, because I cannot call it desperation. I still had some thoughts which were going through my mind. And remember, to this point, I had not told my mom the whole story of how maybe physically abused I was, you know, traumatized and all that. Nilikuwa yani naguzia mathe story juju. And I remember one particular day telling her, me, I think I'm not going on with this kind of marriage. And she was like, aje sasa, so what are we going to tell people? Gosh. And that's a very difficult question. Like, you want to do something to please people, or you are doing something to give answers to people. I mean, that's an assignment that is all that was so difficult for me, because for once I felt that my life had come to a standstill. I don't know what to tell even myself, leave alone people. I don't know what to tell myself, you know. But I don't know, somehow I just managed and I maneuvered anyway. So I got to a point now of going back to work because I wouldn't have stayed in shags forever. And so I told my mom, let me go. I will figure out what to do later. And so I did. So after going back, I felt like I wanted to revenge. Yeah, I felt I wanted to revenge. And so I decided, since now all along I have his car, and so I decided, what if I go back now to his house, but with the objective of revenging, asking for money, because I had incurred a lot of losses. Yeah, my business was closed down. Yani, I don't know, my life was just stagnant. So I thought maybe I can go back to take revenge. But I thank God that he assured me that vengeance belongs to him. And so I was, okay. Anyway, with time, I came to accept it. So I decided to go back. And so I went. And believe you me, after going back to the house, remember this is a house that hatukuwa tumekaa for more than 6 months. So I go start with washing and dusting everywhere so that at least I can have a clean place to stay. So I kept my stuff and phone aside. I did cleaning almost for 4-5 hours, dusting and cleaning, because it was a big house here. And so when I finished the dusting, I now went, took a shower and headed to bed. Wow, okay. I took my phone. I think I was checking on time. And so I got a text. And this text was from you guy. So the text read, I thought umemalizana na mimi. What are you doing in my house? I racked, for a moment, like nilikaa tu nikazubaa tu. But I was like, okay, fine. Maybe he's just telling me that out of maybe unaona ile kuonyesha mtu hakuna place ulikuwa uende. So me I slept. Only to wake up the following morning and get another text. Ukifanya mambo yako usifanyie kwangu. And believe you me, that was an eye opener. Yani hiyo statement sijui iligonga na Afghani, but life was different from that day. I felt like an insult. I don't know. Ati ukifanya mambo yako usifanyie kwangu. Mambo gani sasa, And you see, this person alikuwa ameninyang'anya life yangu. Like I was not living my life, Sina job, yeah. Kabiashara kamekufa, najaribu kukafufua. I don't have money, I don't have savings. And then you come now telling me, nikifanya mambo yangu nisifanyie kwako. Hey, that was so difficult for me to absorb. But anyway, with time, I took it. I don't know what happened or what that statement triggered in my mind, because the next minute I was crying and calling my mom and telling her I cannot continue giving up my life for somebody to treat me like I was desperate. And so I was telling her, Mimi, nimefika mwisho and I don't want anybody to advise me. That's what I told her. And she was like, why don't you just get out of that environment for a moment? You get to realize yourself. And I was like, no, it's not for a moment. It is permanently. And believe you me, from that date, my thinking changed. Yani, whatever I was doing towards life took a different turn. And I remember calling my sister also, and my sister was like, no, I have a vehicle already. Tell us, send us some money to fuel the car, we are coming. And yani hiyo siku ilikuwa ile siku mrefu sana kwa maisha yangu, because I remember here is a transport, I've been given transport, yeah. I need to take my things out of that house as soon as possible. Naenda na sijui naenda wapi. Believe you me, God works in mysterious ways, because even after kuteseka tu hivyo in darkness, not knowing what to do, God sent me an angel. Yani, a person who stood with me, a person who has stood with me all along. I don't know. I don't even know. Yani, I'm out of words. Yeah. And so my sister now came with the friends. Mwai, God akubless sana wherever you are, and the driver that you came with. They came and assisted me in carrying my stuff. Then there is a group of movers from Embu, akina Irosh. God our bless tu sana sana. Mlinifanyia kazi poa. Mungu awabariki sana. So they came, assisted me in packing, and then we left. Tulikuwa tunatafuta nyumba, vitu zikiwa kwa gari juu. But I thank God that he made a way na nikapata nyumba. Did I mention that I was just looking even for a single room? nieke tu vitu zangu, hata nikikaa huko without sitting down, without a kitchen, without anything, I was okay. I was content, you know, because I felt that my life had shifted from like 90% back to 5% or even -%, yeah. And but all the same, I felt I needed to be strong for myself and start all over again. Other than being, you know, taken for granted, I opted even kwenda nianze tu maisha kwa kibanda, yeah. And me, I'm here to give people hope. If you are there, you're being abused, you're being, you know, yani, just take that step, yeah. Take that step. Like, you never know. God too atamake a way, you know. I was feeling that I was kwa kona kabisa, and my life like had come to an end, wondering now nitatoa pesa ya rent wapi, nitatoa pesa ya food wapi, I don't have savings. Then this is January approaching, I need to pay for the nyumba ya job, inataka rent, you know. But through it all, God had prepared my soft landing. Alikuwa anajua hata kama nitaanguka, hata kama nitarudi nyuma, I will not go back to zero. And I want to thank everybody who participated in supporting me that time, yeah. Those who gave me financial support, akina Reverend Evans in US, aki God akubless tu sana. You've been an amazing friend to me. You've encouraged me all through. You've supported me materially, financially. I don't take it for granted. There are also these people who I trusted with my business when it had been closed down during that time. Melvin and your wife, God our bless sana, and I love you so much, guys, yeah. So after now, I came and put my things in that house. Believe you me, God, this is just a miracle. I don't know, but it just happened. I got someone who settled my bills, who paid my house rent. Well, God bless you so much. Anyway, I don't want to become emotional in the moment. God bless you so much for standing with me, for praying for me and praying with me. I don't take it for granted. So after putting my things now in the house, my sister and my brother Rita and Sam, they insisted that I go to their house. It wasn't okay for me to be in the house alone with all that was going on. And so I went to stay with them, and I stayed there for quite some time, yeah. And I was given all the freedom, like, gosh, you guys, see, nawapenda bure, yeah. The kind of support that you've given me all through is overwhelming, and I cannot thank you enough, yeah. Yani unakaa kwa watu, hakuna kitu unawasaidia nayo, but hata opinion ya what to be cooked for supper ni wewe unaulizwa, ati unasikia kukula nini. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted. You are the angels that came in my life, and my life was never the same again. So I stayed there for quite some time. You know, the kids kept me busy. Yeah, my sister was all there to talk to me, to be with me, to encourage me. And with time too, nikakuja nikihil, yeah. And so I got to a point of feeling I was ready now to face the remaining chapter, or rather the remaining issues when I was alone. And that's when now I left them and came back to my house. And after I came back to my house, now life started, you know, I wouldn't call it smooth, but it started shaping up, and my business started peaking. Then came January, I paid for the rent, and all my savings now were gone. Yani, how I operated that shop for like 2-3 months, it's only God who knows how. Like, it's something I can't explain. Nilikuwa nafungua duka na shanga, am I selling myself, or what am I selling in the shop? Those that know my shop, and those people who are close to me, they know what I'm saying. Mi sikuwa na stock. I never had anything for myself. Yani hata ningetoka job nikuje tu, I just take a drink and sleep, because it was tough, yeah. It was tough. But I thank God. This far, I would say he's Ebenezer. because it has taken his mighty hand. Me, all along, I'm saying this is a testimony. I cannot exhaust saying what God has done for me, because um, it's much, yeah. And so, okay, I want to thank God because of that, because of whatever happened, because everything happens for a reason. So I was in the shop, and I remember now the guy came, and mtu anakuja kwa shop, hamjaongea for some time because I had blocked him in all my platforms. Now he's coming, calls me, and I have his number, although it's blocked, so I knew it was him trying to call me. And so he comes and was like, why are you not picking my calls? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, I ignored him. Then he went. He was like, I just came to say hi, and then he left. Then after a few minutes now, he comes back again and tells me, atitoka tuende. I'm like, where am I going with you? Yani, this guy was a dictator to a point. He doesn't care about what you feel, where as long as ufanye vile anataka. And so I was curious kujua ananiambia nitoke twende wapi na mimi nikiwa kama nani, because it was like 3 or so months, yeah, 3 or 4 months after I had come back, and without even talking to him, yeah. So he told me he wanted to go home to my mom, and I was like, okay. Remember, at this point, I'm not even in good terms with my mom, because nimedecide na nikawaambia mi sitaki influence ya mtu yoyote, because I was feeling like maisha imefika mahali sasa mi sitaki kuambiwa anything na mtu, because I'm already in so much pain because of this so-called marriage. And I said, if they want to look at me like I'm a failure, me, I was ready. I had sacrificed that, by the way. Kama nitaitwa a failure because my marriage never worked, I was ready for it. And so because my mom was not understanding some bits of the story, not like now she does, she was against me divorcing. And so she kept telling me, no, you can make things work. Aki nikiimagine what I'm making work, nasikia hapana. But God bless mom and those women that stood with her and encouraged her, and maybe influenced her to making the right decision for me. Because I would say, you, as a parent, as a mom especially, you would rather have a divorced daughter than one in the grave. There's no comparison between the dead and the living. Like, mom chose me, and I'm glad that she did. So guys, this is becoming somehow emotional today, but thank you guys for watching. I will continue giving the rest of the story next time. Thank you for the love, the support, the encouragement. I don't take it for granted. So blessings to you all. Until next time, it's your girl, Liz Mushira. Thank you.